Hey everybody, welcome to the session. So today, first and foremost, my name is Gavin Connolly, I'm Field CTO here at Nerdio. I'm with my good friend and colleague Neil Mcloughlin, who is our principal TAM at Nerdio. We wanted to basically take what we announced at our annual event, NerdioCon, and bring it here and kind of package it today so that you get up to date in about 15 minutes. So we're going to not waste any time and jump straight in. So we have announced some really interesting and new and exciting capabilities into Nerdio, as well as just improving the platform overall. We have some particular focus areas that the product team are focusing on and that we're building towards. So the first one is continuous machine learning. Okay, so there's going to be machine learning all around improving your infrastructure. That's right-sizing your environment, that's ensuring that your scaling and your settings are set correctly. So we're going to be doing some constant kind of monitoring of what you've put in and making sure that you're getting the best out of that Azure Virtual Desktop platform. We have also introduced generative AI into Nerdio. So that is some exciting news. We're going to dig into that in a little bit, so I won't say too much now, but we'll come back to that one. But we're really excited to bring in generative AI into the world of EUC. Next up, we have an environment assessment mode. So a lot of customers kind of, we find they're challenged with, they have an environment, whether that be AVD already, or it's an environment on-prem that's using one of the traditional vendors from an on-prem VDI capacity, and they want to know what will their environment look like in AVD when it is optimized with Nerdio. So we are building out a tool and functionality where we can hook into that pretty easily, kind of suck in that information and be able to spit out exactly what we can do and where we can get you to when you start to optimize with Nerdio. Policy protection and versioning from an Intune perspective. So Nerdio is obviously focused on Microsoft. We are a bespoke solution for Microsoft's technology stack, primarily focused on Azure Virtual Desktop. But we are now broadening out into Intune as well, so modern endpoint management. And with Intune today, anybody using Intune today in their environment? Yeah, most hands, right. I think we have a clear winner for endpoint management, right? Today, if I'm an admin and I go and I click some buttons and I roll out a change out to those endpoints and something goes wrong, I have to go back and remember what I clicked to change, right? There's no way of managing and remembering what those changes were, and there's definitely no way of rolling back those changes. So we're introducing some clever things that allow admins to do that. And then finally, we have a continued focus all around unified app management. So the next slide, we'll talk a little bit more around unified app management, and I'll share the stick with Neil.
All right, so let's talk about application deployment. So as part of my role, I speak to lots of customers, probably around 20 customers a week on average. Every call that I'm on at the moment, it's the same story. Everyone's moving from Active Directory to Enter ID. Everyone's moving from SCCM to Intune. Okay. For those who have tried to deploy applications from Intune onto AVD session hosts, joined to Enter ID, knows how painful that process can be. Okay, it's slow, unreliable, there's no logs. And we also see customers deploy applications from lots of different places, right? Some applications are deployed manually. Some applications are deployed from SCCM. Some applications are deployed from Intune. So what we've done, we've built a Nerdio Unified Application Manager product. And what that's basically doing is taking all of those different repos and adding them into one single console. Okay? And that means I can create policies. I can create the policies. I want to deploy these applications, maybe this one from SCCM, this one from Intune, and this one from Winget. Right? And we've actually built that into the provisioning process as well of the session hosts. So if I have these policies configured, and if I start building session hosts, it won't let me give that session host to the user or let the user log on to session host until it's met its policy criteria. Okay, so different, more better, cleaner way of deploying applications, because I still get shivers on when I speak to customers, how are you deploying applications? I'll just install them in the image. Okay, any history to that? No. So this is what we're trying to get around. We want to try and completely automate the application deployment process. And that's what unified Application Manager gives you, but it also gives us the ability to deploy applications to physical endpoints. So for those of you who use Chocolatey and Winget, they're amazing. So if you're not using it, check out Chocolatey and Winget because they're a really good way of deploying applications. We can use a private Winget repo. We control that via Nerdio. We can create that via Nerdio, and we update it via Nerdio as well. Same thing for virtual machines and Cloud PC as well. So whether you're Windows 365, whether you're physical, whether you're Azure Virtual Desktop, single session host, multi-session host, we can help you manage to deploy the applications via Application Manager.
Perfect. So let's talk a little bit about AI. So Nerdio has come up with these 3 innovations around bringing in AI, generative AI, into EUC to help admins run their environments on a day-to-day basis. So the first one is available now in Tech Preview. It's called Nerdio Assist Pro. Neil's going to show you what that looks like in a couple of moments. But that's all about bringing the Nerdio knowledge base to the admin and meet them where they're at in the portal. So it's really cool. Using natural language, we can type in queries about how to get best practice from Nerdio, and that will deliver the details from the knowledge base. Next up is Nerdio Script Pro. I'm really excited for this one. We have the ability to, within Nerdio, create scripted actions and put that, PowerShell scripts, put that in your scripted action library, and then, like with the applications, be able to deploy those scripts to the images and to the hosts themselves. So we're really excited for that one. That one's coming later in and around the summer this year. And then finally, we have Nerdio Insights Pro, and that's going to help with insights and reporting from a Nerdio perspective. And that's coming later in the year. That's coming in H2 2024. This is a little bit what it looks like, but Neil's going to kind of take you through a demo. It uses OpenAI and Cosmos DB technologies under the hood to bring this assistant to life. Do you want to talk through this one and kind of configuring that and show the video off? Yeah.
So essentially what we've done, we've taken all of our KB documents that we've got on our support site, and then we've pulled them in to the AI instance. So it consists of a Key Vault database, Cosmos, Log-Related Workspace, Application Insights, and Search Service, and OpenAI. So they all sit within inside your own environment. Okay. So quite a quick demo that'll show you. So this is our Assist Pro. So it sits inside the console. So this is available right now on private preview because we're currently developing it, fine-tuning it, tweaking it. And we can just basically ask it questions. Right. So here on the video, let me just play that video. What you'll see is he says, go on, play. Okay. So what you see, we can ask it questions. As I said, it's basically going to ask it a question, which you can't see because, there you go. I'm asking it, how do I assign a user to a host pool? Okay, so imagine you're a user, you don't know anything about Nerdio, you don't know anything about Azure Virtual Desktop, and this is basically just going to go away, pull out the documentation that we've got that it knows about, and then responds with the relevant questions. Okay, so this is very, very early pre-stage of what we're starting to do. So we're just starting on the AI journey, as a lot of customers are doing. So this is our kind of first stab at it. That's why it's in private preview. We don't want to really make it public preview until we're happy with the results that it's giving. But if you
could just reply RTFM every question.
You could do. But as I said, this is the first stab in the dark, and over time we're going to continually get better with it as well. So. Yeah. So yeah, for the sake of time.
It would be great if those settings auto scale was actually a link, isn't it? That they could click on it.
Good feedback. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you've seen the stuff which Microsoft are doing, but some of the stuff that you can say actually do it. So I think we'll get there eventually. But so this is like.
Yeah, we're still in early phase.
Very, very
kind of,
early phase.
Some interesting plans on where this stuff could go, but I think.
Yeah.
The intent is there, and I think it's exciting, right, that we have generative AI in this EUC space.
Yeah.
Natively.
Okay. Do you want me to work?
Yeah, I can do it.
Okay.
So the other announcement to talk about is obviously Azure Stack HCI was covered this morning in the session by Toby in the Microsoft session. Really exciting, obviously, for those additional use cases that customers may have. They're all in on the Microsoft journey. They want to go to Azure Cloud, Azure Virtual Desktop. However, they have those one or two requirements and use cases where they need something still on-prem, whether that be for data sovereignty or local client server apps for latency reasons. They can have a footprint out or a leg out into their own data center. Again, exciting because it's the first time Windows 10 and 11 multi-session is available on-prem. The big news for that is that Nerdio is going to fully support Azure Stack HCI. We are going to see that as what we're calling a hybrid host pool. And we will be able to, and we're going to introduce auto scaling for Azure Stack HCI. So that's going to be coming really soon. So the cost model of Azure Stack HCI is going to be 1 cent per core per hour. So it's a consumption model just like in the cloud. So therefore the auto scaling is going to be just as important on-prem as it is in the cloud. So we're really excited to bring in Nerdio's kind of best-in-class auto scaling technologies to be able to manage that as well. Anything else, Neil?
No, just we've seen a lot of interest in HCI, so I'm personally very excited for it. Okay, and this is what the HCI host pool looks inside Nerdio, like any other host pool. So you don't care from a Nerdio perspective, it's just another host, so you can manage it exactly the same way as you would do, whether it's a single session desktop, multi-session desktop, whatever, doesn't matter. Okay, one thing we've added as well is the changes to user cost attribution. So we can now see session cost, but on a per host pool basis as well. So that's been added to the Nerdio console. So this is a tool called user cost attribution, and it gives you per session costs. Okay, so we can look inside the log analytics, we can look inside the Azure Cost Center APIs and give you per session cost reporting. Okay, which is extremely useful to customers.
Really popular with enterprise customers in particular. They want to see on a per user basis, they want to then kind of manipulate that data and bring it out into the report.
And this is a Power BI dashboard that you get as part of that functionality as well. So we take that data and we basically create a Power BI template, and then you load all that data into the Power BI template, and that gives you loads of reporting capabilities. This is probably one of about 8 different dashboards that you can look at within the Power BI dashboard. But the latest one that we just released is what you can see there about the cost group. So you can split it down into finance, marketing, products, and sales. And then I think we can hook into your Enter ID accounts, pull out values from there as well and do reporting. But we can also do reporting on tags as well. Okay, so lots of really, really useful reporting capabilities. You can see here is like 3-month trends that you can have a look and see, hey, what's happening with my AVD costs? And then if you want to, you can go really deeper dive into that as well. So,
particularly if you're doing any sort of chargeback models in your organization, a tool like this is going to be invaluable for breaking that cost down. Cost center levels.
do you want me to do this one as well? Or?
Sure, yeah, go.
Okay. Nerdio Advisor, awesome technology. Something that we just released for multi-session host pools. But what this is basically doing, you can see here, is looking at my CPU and memory usage of the session hosts. And then it tells me, here, say the CPU, for example, is 3% of the time is between 50 and 80%. Memory, 19% of the time is also between 50 and 80%. So we're okay with that one. But if you look at here at the bottom, we can see there, we're using 50 to 80% of the memory only 1% of the time, and only 25% of the memory 50 to 80% of the time. Therefore, we're recommending you drop down. Okay, those figures aren't exciting, but the possibilities of large environments are pretty big. Okay, so this is one customer I worked with last week. We introduced this feature. I went through with them. Within the space of 20 minutes, I saved them nearly $1 million. Okay.
So what's that figure, Neil? Call it out.
$82,656. This is a real customer environment.
So
that's per month.
Host pool, right?
Multi-session host pool.
Yeah.
So these guys were a big call center customer, obviously over-versioned their VMs. We identified that. A few clicks, just resized all their VMs in their environment, adjusted the auto-scale profile, $1 million a month saving. Sorry, $1 million a year saving. Okay, so these are the capabilities that we can get with this in-depth reporting to really save you a lot of money. And this is the more realistic scenario that we generally see day to day as well. Another customer, this is like literally 1 week after we release the product. So showing this functionality. So here, again, this scenario we see quite often. It basically suggested we flip the VM over from a D series to an E series VM because we're using a lot more memory than CPU. £1,600 a month cost saving just from that alone. So very, very powerful.
Yeah, then finally, one for those sustainability fans out there. Sustainability becoming more and more of a topic as always, particularly changes from an EU perspective is pushing down now where they want reporting on both Scope 2 and Scope 3 emissions, as well as Scope 1 obviously, but now they want Scope 3 emissions reportings from organisations above a certain size and certain public sector organisations. So what Nerdio have done is we have implemented into our modelling tool the ability not only to model what your environment might look like. So this is the modeler, this is the Nerdio modeler. It's available on our website if you want to look at what your use case could look like in terms of cost with and without Nerdio in AVD. You can see that, but now we've added in the carbon savings, so your carbon emission savings as well. So not only can the Nerdio auto-scaling features and the different tool sets that we've showed today help you with your cost savings in the cloud, we can also help with those carbon emission savings as well.
Save the trees.
Exactly, save the planet.
You said tree quite a few times.
I did. It's true. Say your name again? No, sorry, yeah. So that is a big one for me, right? A big personal win checkbox for me. This is in the model today. I think eventually we're going to have more of this reporting inside the broader dashboard as well. So it's a really good one. Finally, on the savings, and we're wrapping up after this slide, is the last time I was here, if anybody was here in November, I showed a similar slide to this one, which showing some of the cost savings that Nerdio was driving in customers' environments. We took some real use cases. On the left-hand side is just some examples of where Nerdio can save costs on auto-scaling, on just-in-time provisioning, on reserved instances and right-sizing recommendations, OS disk swap and shrink, and on the profiles as well. But on the right-hand side of the screen is where the real interesting information is. So for going top down, for one customer, we're saving them $1.2 million a month in their Azure spend. They are a large global energy provider. That's for 24,000 users plus. So, large organizations are now kind of turning to this AVD and Nerdio solution. We have a financial service organization saving $306K a month. That's for 3,000 users. That's a 44% reduction for them. Global hotel chain, $89,000 a month. That's a 47% reduction. That's for 3.8 thousand users, and so on and so forth. Even down to kind of smaller companies saving $7K a month for 400 users. So we're seeing big and small, big savings for both large and small organizations. If you are looking at AVD, if you're in AVD today and you're not using Nerdio, come and talk to us at the booth. We'll tell you how we can possibly help you save some of these costs. Question down the end.
Are those savings including the cost of licensing Nerdio itself?
Yes, they are indeed, yeah. So hopefully that was helpful. Again, going forward, we have some of those big ticket items. We've gone way over time, but some of the big ones and big focus areas are stuff that we've talked about today, and we're going to be double down in those space. We're going to double down and keep going to innovate in those areas.
I'm excited about reporting and insights around all the AI stuff that we can do about that. That's going to be pretty
Game
amazing.
changer. Super. Thanks, everybody.